Like hard work. Did you ever come all the way out here to watch TV now, have ya?
So this is a local newspaper. Categories such as defensive dominance, South Jersey's most dynamic player. None of it has anything to do with me. I remember the first time I saw Bono like this. He was so dominant. He would say whatever he wants, whenever he wants. It was a form of praise that was unheard of to me. And it was that moment where I said, I want to be that. Nothing else but that.
This is my brother. From the time he was a little boy, he's loved to perform. He'd love to make videos and have one of us record him, and he was a natural. He was also naturally drawn to music. And growing up, he loved all kinds of music. Some of his favorites being U2, the Dave Matthews Band, and Coldplay.
What does it say? How'd Daddy get these?
What does it say on the ticket?
Coldplay! Is Coldplay gonna be playing?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Here?
Yep, that's why we're here.
Whoa! Awesome! That's a concert worth seeing.
It's be your first concert.
When we were kids, we used to play around a lot with an old piano we had, and it's funny because I remember when he was around 5 years old, he figured out the main piano line from the Coldplay song Clocks, and me being an 8-year-old, I was so jealous, but it was ever since then that I realized that he had something. It wasn't long after he learned to play the piano when he started learning the guitar, and I think that was when he really began to grow. And now that he's in high school, he does it all the time. When my brother first started out in high school, he would do these live streams with his friends, and it was sort of as a joke, and he would take song requests and interact with them. And it was here where he first started to share music with others.
I still have the one I wrote that song on. It's my first electric guitar. I still remember the day I got it. Every time I play it, it brings me back to, those times. Same strap, everything, So, still with me. I wrote my first real song at the end of my sophomore year. It was called Spotlight. At the same time that was written, a few others were starting, and then that just kind of set off a chain reaction into what is now my passion, some would say.
It wasn't long after my brother started writing songs that he formed a band with some of his other friends in high school, and they named themselves the White Cassettes. And they started playing covers at open mic nights around his town, and then they eventually started getting some gigs at festivals and local restaurants, and from there it continued.
All right, we're the White Cassettes. We're a band. Please enjoy our set. We got 2 of them, so here's the first one. Didn't say why.
I feel that a lot of my brother's early songs came to him very naturally as they expressed emotions of what he was going through of trying to find his place in the world and the expectations he felt from his peers. But as he continued to grow, he began to branch out and find other opportunities, like being able to experience writing songs with other artists as well.
So Glenn Fry from the Eagles, years back, stopped by NYU at their summer program and said to the main composer who taught the program that the hardest song to write was a pure love song. So the next year, Phil was his name, created a project called the Pure Love Song, where the group had to write a song with no conflict, just one about just perfect relationship. And it was hard. It was a hard song to write, but it was also the first one that we had to write there at this program, this summer program. We had to collaborate with a group of 3. And I was working with someone named Steph, and the melody was in my head, and I went to the piano, started playing it, and then it just went from there. We started to spew out lyrics, and it was just, how do we create this perfect love without any conflict? And it became a song called Set It Free, which, she's still singing today, wherever she is, so it was pretty successful.
You brought the light, didn't walk away.
artist, my brother faces challenges on how he feels others perceive him, and he sets very high standards for himself as well, which can cause doubts in his own ability. But despite it all, he still feels passionate about what he does, and his strength shines through.
A lot of people say one called Calm Before the Storm is my best song. As a writer, I find that very insulting. It's something you have to get over to write another song. You think that you've capped in the beginning, and that's something you have to fight. The song itself is about nature and human nature, I'd say. It's the comparison between moving on, whether it's a relationship or some part of your life that has ended, and it relates that to the seasons and the inevitability of autumn, winter, spring, the changing of climate and appearance.
It's been so many days since I laid my eyes upon your face. These seasons have altered, and my heart too longs for that change. Well, I can't see no reason to look away at all. Turn around and I can't find her, and when the leaves they begin to fall. Tears they fall, our hearts they break. Winter falls, summer's mistakes, and the calm before the storm was not enough to keep me warm, and my heart it hides away because the love I need couldn't stay. I'll step into the light of day, and at last I feel I'm home again.
It's clear that my brother truly loves what he does, and it's here when he's full of life. He's always been like a magnet that draws others close to him, and he lights a spark in those around him. As a sister, I've been inspired by what he does, and I hope that others will be as well.